Hello, everyone, and welcome to West Suburban Humane Society's annual meeting. It's been a challenging year for everyone. We certainly all had to learn to live through COVID, social distancing, wearing masks, washing hands. The adoption center has been no different, as we've had to learn to change how we approach the public, our staff, and our volunteers. But while it's been a challenging year for us in those respects, we can also look back to the past 12 months and think about the positives. We've now had 12 months in the new adoption center, and that's provided for a great improvement in the caring of our dogs and cats and how the public perceives them as they go through the adoption process. So although we've had several challenges, we can look back and think of the positives that have come here. You're going to hear more from Carolyn about a re-entry program, and I would expect that that will change over time as we learn how to continue to adapt with COVID until it's behind us. We've had some other positives during the year. We've had several new board members join us, and you're going to hear from them tonight. In a moment, I'll be introducing the first of our new board members. I also wanted to take a moment to recognize our volunteers. I believe our volunteers are one of the most important assets that we have at the shelter. And we don't often thank them, not nearly enough, and certainly not nearly enough in a time of COVID where we socially distance and interact through videos. But I want to extend a personal thanks to all of our volunteers and recognize the tireless work that they do, because they really make the West Suburban Humane Society the successful organization that it is. With that, I am going to turn the floor over to one of our newer board members, Brian, for an introduction.
Good evening. My name is Brian Wazalewski. I joined the board of directors here in October of 2020 after my wife told me how great of an organization this was. She's a volunteer. Her name is Marie. Feel free to say hello when you see her to all the volunteers out there. Marie and I live in Downers Grove by Good Samaritan Hospital with our 3 dogs, one of which we adopted from West Suburban, I own Specialty Construction, a steel contractor, and we were able to donate the shelters in the yard and all the stainless steel countertops throughout the new facility. I am very happy to be on the board and eager to continue to make positive change and grow West Suburban into the great association that I know it can be. Thank you. I'll now introduce next board member, Mark Motuelle.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mark Motuelle. I live in Woodridge, and I joined the board in February of this year. I am currently a director at BMO Harris Bank in Chicago, and part of that job, the responsibilities there would be new business development, relationship management. I analyze financial statements. I participate in marketing. So what attracted me to join the board here at West Suburban is those skills that I use in my job, I can do here. You'll hear from several other board members, some of their different committees that they are in charge of, and I participate in a variety of those. I grew up in Downers Grove, so West Suburban Humane Society has always been an organization and an entity that I followed. And now that I'm able and in a position to utilize my time and efforts, I'm extremely grateful to have the opportunity to do that. So thank you. I think you'll enjoy the agenda today, and I will turn it over to Christian Ambler for the Secretary's report.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Christian Ambler. I am the recording secretary for West Suburban. My role is primarily to take the minutes during our meetings and maintain our organization's documents. One of the things that we need to do today is approve the minutes from last year's general meeting. And if some of you looked at that, you may have seen that the date on that was wrong, so I've corrected that. But other than that, I guess I'm going to ask people in the room if there are any changes or modifications that need to be made. And if not, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Jennifer?
Second.
Harry seconds. So thank you all for coming. And with that, I will turn it over to Carrie Copera, our treasurer.
Good evening. I'm Carrie Copera. I am the recently elected treasurer of West Suburban. I began as a board member in October of 2020 and then became the treasurer in January of 2021. And my responsibilities relate to helping manage the financial resources of West Suburban. You can see on the screen the statement of activities, which reflects how West Suburban did financially for 2020. And as a reference, I've shown the 2019 numbers. The statement is the same as an income statement would be for other organizations, but since we are a not-for-profit, it's called a statement of activities. Since we are a not-for-profit, our sole responsibility is not to make money, and you will see that in 2020, we actually lost money. We lost $53,990. That represents revenues minus expenses, ultimately becomes that lost number. The good news is we did receive a PPE loan, a federal loan for $55,000, which fully covered that loss. And the even better news is in 2021, that loan got forgiven, so we do not have to pay that back, and it does become revenue that we can recognize in 2021. Comparing the numbers between the years requires a few clarifications that I wanted to point out. Our revenues did decrease year over year, but you will see that relates to the fact that in 2019, we had a capital campaign and raised over $570,000 in 2020. If we back out that capital campaign, we actually did better in 2020 than we did in 2019, despite the pandemic, from additional contributions as well as higher adoption fees. Also, due to some generous individuals who plan ahead, we received $149,000 of bequests from individuals who passed away and left West Suburban in their wills, which we greatly appreciated. In terms of expenses, we did spend $981,000 as compared to $920,000 in the previous year. The main increase in our program is related to our program services, and what's included in there would be salaries, vet bills, animal care costs, utilities, etc. So with the larger shelter or adoption center, we have more animals and we've had more costs related to that area. Lastly, I did want to point out that the 2020 results are unaudited, but we do expect the final audit report here shortly, and we will be posting it onto our website. Once that does happen, I will let everyone know. So all those money people that like to look at all the numbers and the details will be able to go out onto our website and take a look at our financial statements. I will now turn it over to our Executive Director, Carolyn.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending our annual meeting. I'm going to start with some good news. We've been getting a lot of questions about when the shelter is going to reopen, and we are planning on reopening to the public on Tuesday, July the 6th. Since we've had the opportunity to take a look at our operations and our hours, we are going to be starting out with new hours when we reopen. We're going to be closed to the public on Mondays. Tuesday will be open for adoptions from 2 to 8. Wednesday from noon to 6. Thursday again from 2 to 8 p.m. Friday noon to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from noon to 5 p.m. Right now, the way that's going to work is the public will be able to come in. We are not going to allow them into the animal areas. The animals have not been used to having visitors come through. They're used to the staff and the current volunteers. So for their mental well-being, for the time, people are just going to be allowed in the public spaces. We will continue to do adoptions by appointment. So what that means, a potential adopter will come in. We will have a kiosk in the front lobby. They can fill out an application, look at the animals that they're interested in meeting, see all the ones that are available, and then schedule an appointment to meet that animal. As of right now, the staff is going to continue to do the showings, but that may change again as we move through the process and see how this works for us once we open. So with that being said, the other good news is we're going to get back to doing live in-person events. So we have several upcoming events scheduled throughout the summer months. Starting out with Yoga with Adoptables. We're going to be offering yoga classes here at the shelter. We're hoping to have those outside with the dogs, but weather may dictate that we have them in here in our multi-purpose room, and that would be with the cats. So enjoy a 45-minute yoga class followed by a 30-minute social with our adoptable animals. The dates for those are Thursday, June 17th at 6 p.m. and Sunday, June 20th at 11 a.m. Sunday, July 25th at 11 a.m., Thursday, July 29th at 6 p.m., Thursday, August 12th at 6 p.m., and Sunday, August 15th at 11 a.m. We are also going to have another beer tasting event. That's going to be on Sunday, July 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Ike and Oak in Woodridge. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So look for more information coming out about that. To register for that, always check our website. We are looking for volunteers to join our event team. We are starting to go off to off-site events. We attended the Morton Arboretum Tales on the Trails recently. So if you're interested, contact Jill, our events coordinator, at events@wshs-dg.org for more information, and she'll be hosting an orientation for that soon. We will also be holding, hopefully, Barkapalooza live and in person this year. The date is Sunday, September 26th, and that will take place at Lisle Community Park from 10 to 2. So again, more details coming about that soon. Year to date, we have done 224 adoptions, 84 dogs, and 140 cats. And hopefully we end the year strong. I'd like to see us hit 600 adoptions this year, and we are on track for that. Thank you again for attending and enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Morrison. If you don't know me, I've been involved with West Suburban Humane Society since 2009, and in March of 2020, I joined the staff as our new Director of Development. So what is a Director of Development? Basically, I build the relationships that strengthen and grow our organization, both with people who know about West Suburban Humane Society already and with people who don't. So first of all, my job is to ensure that our supporters and our donors feel appreciated. Each of you donates and supports West Suburban Humane Society for a different reason, and I want you to know that you are appreciated and a vital part of our rescue efforts. I have spent the past year working to tell you the stories of the many people and animals who have passed through our adoption center and show you that whether you are donating time or your money or sharing West Suburban Humane Society on social media, you are helping our dogs and cats. So personally, I also look at rescue through the lens of social justice, in that we are not only improving animal lives at West Suburban Humane Society, but we're also improving people's lives. So I wanted to talk to you about a few of the really exciting initiatives we've been doing in the social justice arena this year. So first of all, we formalized a donation program. We have always passed on donations we can't use, but with COVID, food pantries have had more people asking for pet food. Volunteer Shannon Lenz brought this to our attention last year, so we formalized a paying it forward donation program. And so far, just in 2021, we've sent over 2,400 pounds of pet food to West Suburban Community Pantry, People's Resource Center, and Lyle Food Pantry to help local pet owners keep the pets in their home. We are also continuing to give what we can to other local rescues and to our rural rescue partners. The volunteers helping out with this program are Shannon Lenz, Christy Dan, Jan Montalbano, and Cindy Johnson. Another social justice effort this past year has been to research and compile resources for pet owners in need. We know that over this past year, people have lost their jobs or even had their hours cut, both of which are a financial blow and can compromise a pet owner's ability to care for the pet in the way that they want to. So over the past several months, our adoption desk counselor, Eric Van Cleven, our social justice intern, Jeremy Dixon, and volunteers Bob Martinez and Lisa Jo Clark researched and created one comprehensive document that includes every resource we know of that helps pet owners in need of assistance. It's available for download on our website under the Resource Center tab, or you can call our front desk and ask for a copy. Of course, if you have a West Suburban Humane Society alum and you need assistance, definitely give us a call. Our goal is always for our alums to stay with their adopted families whenever possible. Another social justice effort we have focused on this year is making sure that everyone feels welcome to enter our adoption center. Part of this effort has involved incorporating the progressive pride flag into our merchandise sale this year. We're doing an animal photo shoot this month that celebrates both pride and progressive pride. And we hope to have a booth at Naperville's Pride Fest in September, so watch for those exciting events. Last in our social justice section is a really exciting program that I'm going to announce tonight for the very first time. I don't even know if the board members know about this yet. So starting this fall, our West Suburban Humane Society humane educators, Carol and Roberta, are partnering with Metropolitan Family Services, which is a local nonprofit that helps victims of domestic violence, to provide humane education services to the clients of Metropolitan Family Services. Carol and Roberta's humane education classes and camps will be at no cost thanks to a generous grant by the Collins Family Heritage Foundation. I want to thank our social justice intern, Jeremy Dixon, who did the bulk of the work to put this program together. Thank you to the Collins Family Heritage Foundation for funding the entire first year of this program, and to Carol and Roberta for agreeing to provide humane education to more kids in our community this year. So we've got a couple of 2021 development events coming up. We are currently running a Paw Pal drive. Our Paw Pals are monthly donors who sign up to have a small donation charged to their credit card each month, and making monthly automatic donations is an easy way to make a substantial difference for our cats and dogs. If you want to take the next step in your support of West Suburban Humane Society and become a valued Paw Pal supporter, you can go to our website's online donation page, just like you're making a regular donation, but change the donation frequency drop-down box to monthly. Paw Pal members get a monthly thank you letter with a little story of an animal their donation helped that month. And this month, we're also sending out our little annual token gift. Last year was hand sanitizer, which was very timely, and this year it's a microfiber cleaning cloth. So all current Paw Pal members are getting an annual token gift, and as will any new Paw Pal members who sign up by January 31st. It is so easy to sign up, and we really appreciate our Paw Pal members. So this fall, we are also going to be holding a Legacy Society thank you event for our Legacy Society members. These are people who have told us that we are in their will or estate plan. This is another easy way to help our cats and dogs because, as they say, you can't take your money with you. So generous bequests played a big part in raising the $4 million we needed to build our new adoption center. If you have included us in your estate planning or will, email me and definitely let us know so we can thank you. We are also going to be talking more about our Legacy Society and in general promoting estate planning for pet owners in October. So in conclusion, I am always available to talk. You can email me at development@wshs-dg.org or call my direct number here at the Adoption Center, 630-442-0671. I also run our Facebook and Instagram pages, so you can reach me that way as well. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I love also getting your West Suburban Humane Society alum photos. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Stromberg, who has our animal care update.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah. As you know, it's kind of hard to follow up Christina. She had a lot of really fun and great things to talk about. I have 3 topics to cover in a short amount of time because everybody knows that I tend to be rather windy. So it's a challenge for me. These 3 things are cat length of stay changes, major medical cases, and an upcoming presentation on our training program. So first off, when we were building the shelter, people were worried that the cat rooms would be smaller than over at the other shelter and that we wouldn't be able to help as many animals as we did over there. But I had a theory that was that our adoption center turnover would be higher and therefore we would be actually attracting more adopters here and we would help more animals just because their length of stay would be shorter. So I'm happy to say that that has been the case. And I've got some numbers for you. In 2019, which was the last full year we were in the old shelter, our average length of stay for cats was 118 days. In the last 12 months, because we're mid-year, here at the adoption center, the feline length of stay has been 59 days. So you can see that how faster turnover allows us to bring in more animals and rescue more animals in the long run than we were, even though the room was bigger there, and we could house more cats at a time. That's exactly 50%. If you like numbers, that's 50% shorter stay for cats than previously. Additionally, we took in 307 cats in 2019, and in the last 12 months, we have taken in 377 cats. So further proof that it's working. My next topic has to do with our major medical cases, which is always a big deal. In the first half of 2021, we've experienced an unprecedented number of major medical cases. We have had amputated limbs, broken limbs that require hardware to fix, lots of heartworm. We had parvo. We've had diabetes, chronic illness. We're seeing more and more cats and dogs coming to us in grave need. Now, some of these are from animal control, and they don't know ahead of time that there's going to be this need. But we've also been getting a fair share of owner give-ups from people who can't afford to fix what needs to be fixed on their animal. And so rather than euthanize, they make the decision to surrender the pet so that it can go on and get treatment and have a good life even without them. So we don't know, we get the question a lot about whether or not we've been seeing an increase in returns due to COVID that everyone was predicting. And certainly these people who can't afford treatment for their pets for these major medical issues that could be part of it. They could have lost their job or, lost hours or things like that. But the returns we have received have really nothing to do with the pandemic. It's just been one thing or another, and some are recent and some are not recent adoptions. So we're not seeing a spike in returns because of the pandemic, to make a long story short. It's been a couple of years, though, since we have experienced this level of major medical, and it's unfortunate, but it seems to be calming down now. All of our dogs, as of next week, will have the 4 that we've been treating for heartworm will be done, so they can go on to get adopted. And we're glad that things are calming down so that, we can get these poor animals on their way, and hopefully so we don't go broke. Lastly, I'm excited to tell you that we are planning a presentation about our training program. We have never done this before. The subject of whether or not to use prong collars for training is something that has always been controversial. And since it continues to come up as a topic of concern among the dog volunteers, we thought it best to just kind of air it out and discuss all the things we do here for training, which, we do a variety, and everybody may not be aware. Our guest speakers will include a trainer and a veterinarian at least. We're still working on the panel. And so that's still a little bit up in the air. We don't have a date set yet, but it will be something that can be attended in person or via video, just like this. And we'll take questions ahead of time, just like we did for this. And I'll have more on that in the next month or so. So thanks for taking part in our annual meeting. Have a great night, and I will turn you over to our trusty volunteer coordinator, Heidi Jantz.
Hi guys, first of all, I want to thank you very much for your patience as we've navigated through the pandemic, the ups and downs, and kind of getting all of our volunteers back into this building. We have finalized our new volunteer shift times. They are the same whether it's on the weekday or weekend: mornings 8:30 to 11, afternoons 12 to 3, and evenings 6 to 8:30. Most of our volunteers that have wanted to come back on a shift have returned. There are a handful of people that are waiting for an opening that fits their schedule. If for some reason you want to volunteer and you have not heard from me or you haven't been able to reach out to me, please contact me as soon as you can, and I'll get you on a list to come back. My email is volunteer@wshs-dg.org, or you can call me at 630-960-9606. We are back up to full capacity in the kennel and cattery. So your dedication is just as important as it has always been. We need you to take care of those animals and we need you to be here. Obviously, there are reasons why people can't come to their shift here and there. And if that happens to you, you just need to let us know, let your shift coordinator know. If you don't have a shift coordinator, let me know. And then always, of course, please try to make up your absence, whether we need a sub for you or not. That way we can make sure the animals are always covered with enough volunteers to take care of them. Again, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for your dedication. You make a difference in each and every one of our animals' lives. Oh, Roberta and Carol are coming to talk to you about humane education.
Good evening. My name is Roberta Diehl and this is Carol Thygesen, and we are in charge of humane education here at the shelter. We're very excited to get some things going. We've had Girl Scout troops coming in and it's been fun to share the animals with them. We are also looking forward to camp, which actually starts Monday. We are doing summer camps a little bit differently than we did last year. We're doing the week of June 14th through the 18th. We're going to have 2 sessions. So a morning session and then an afternoon session. And then the same thing, the week of June 21st to 25th, we're just going to have a half-day session. The week of June 28th to this July 2nd will be 2 sessions. And then July 12th to the 16th, again, 2 sessions. We are also offering, which is new this year, 3 one-day mini camps where the kids can come in just for 1 day for 3 hours, and they're themed based. So we have one on crafts and photography, and so it's kind of exciting things for the kids that can't come all week. Our camps will service 78 total campers with 10 teen assistants. The total money collected for these camps was $9,975. We have done other programs through this year. One of them was our Pages for Pets Read-a-thon, in which we raised $900. During the lockdown, we came up with the idea of making learning boxes that parents can take home, buy for their children, take home and work on at home. Some of them are Care for Cats, Dog Care for Kids, Presidential Pets, and then I Want to Be a Vet. And they are ranged toward different age levels. So if they have older children, we can direct them to a box that would fit their needs. These have been selling. We've made $280 so far, and we continue to have those on the market and sell those. In the fall, we're looking forward to having some after-school programs and to bring back the kids who would like to read with the cats. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And right now we'll hear from the advisory groups. First one is the Governance Committee.
Hello, my name is Scott McMillan, and I am a 4-year volunteer and 2-year member of the board here at West Suburban. I am a lawyer at a law firm downtown, and I also serve as chair of the governance committee of the board of directors here at West Suburban. The governance committee generally does three things. First of all, we revise and update policies and procedures, both for the board and for the adoption center. Secondly, we recruit and interview new board members for the board. And thirdly, we advise the board on the bylaws and other procedural requirements of the organization. This year, I just wanted to mention three things that we have been doing. First of all, early in the year, we updated the employee and volunteer handbooks. Secondly, we have recruited 4 fantastic new board members in the past year. You've already met some of them. Brian Wazalewski joined, and with his experience in construction has been a valuable resource as we've had issues with the new facility as we've moved in and gotten up to speed here in the past year. We added Carrie Copera, who you met, who jumped very quickly into the treasurer role and has been integral to the functioning of the adoption center. Thirdly, we added Mark Motuelle, who you also met, with his background in banking, was a valuable resource on the PPP loans that we took out. And lastly, you'll be hearing shortly from Colleen Attwell, who joined us after a career in development and has jumped right into helping us plan our 50th anniversary, which is coming up next year. Lastly, as we look forward to what's coming up, we are currently working on updated board member goals and guidelines in conjunction with the Development Advisory Group and the Strategic Planning Advisory Group. Thank you.
Hello, this is Jennifer Baumann. I'm a board member, a director, and I'm also the board liaison to the Volunteer Advisory Council. Our group has been probably about a year and a half. The current members are Candace Fisher, David G., Diane Harkey, Deb McGuffey, Sarah Marshall, Ann Miller, Suzette Quintel, Jennifer Vanderkoy, and myself. The overall purpose or edict for that group is to really figure out how to improve the volunteer experience at the shelter and kind of liaison with Heidi on the volunteer side, with all the other staff and with the volunteers, again, to make an overall positive experience for volunteers, to increase communication and such. Some of the things that we're working on in a current agenda is we are reviewing the volunteer handbook that Scott just mentioned and providing input to Heidi and the staff. We will be shortly sending out a volunteer survey questionnaire that's we would love to have a lot of participation with, so please stay tuned for that. We are working with Heidi again on a volunteer recognition program. And really, we're here for you. So please contact us at vac@wshs-dg.org, and we will get back to you. And it's our pleasure to work with you and the staff and the rest of the board members. Thank you. So I'm going to turn it over to Christina to talk about Marketing Advisory Group.
Hello again. This is Christina Morrison. I am giving the Marketing Advisory Group report for update for Jessica, who could not be here tonight. She is one of our board members with marketing experience. So the Marketing Advisory Group is beginning its 3rd year since being reinstated. The group is made up of staff members, board directors, and volunteers. And this past year, we wanted to address 3 big items to support the health and overall impact of West Suburban Humane Society. Our first goal was to improve the adoption experience for potential adopters. So last year, we took a deep dive into our online reviews to address the challenges that the public was experiencing when trying to adopt from us. Some of the biggest complaints we found were around vet records, expectations during the application process, and frustration when an application was denied. So we worked with the staff, the board, and a veterinarian to revise our internal adoption guidelines to be better aligned with current vet care best practices for cats and dogs, and also to be more understanding of extreme circumstances. We also updated questions on our adoption application and moved the entire application to our website, making it easier for adopters to apply virtually. In the coming year, our goal is to rework our website to set better expectations of our adoption process and guidelines to those in our community looking to adopt one of our animals. The second item we have been working on over the past year was to establish a greater presence for West Suburban Humane Society in our community. So although we have not been able to fully open our doors and welcome the community into our new adoption center, we wanted to find ways to build relationships and further communicate what we're all about. So we began by updating our mission statement. While the substance of our mission statement remains true to our roots, we were able to simplify the language and better communicate our modern goals as we have expanded. We are also in the process of growing our corporate partnership program, where we can offer local companies, big or small, unique exposure opportunities to grow their business while supporting our mission, both financially and through lasting relationships with those businesses' employees. We also grew our merchandise offerings and made them available to all of our supporters through both seasonal pop-up stores and now even a year-round sales platform of West Suburban Humane Society gear and items that advocate for rescue. Our last goal was to create a marketing plan to help our animals find forever homes faster, which is focused especially on our long-term residents. We worked with animal care staff to implement a checklist of action items based on the length of duration that each animal hits when at our adoption center. So along with this checklist, a program was created known as long-term lovables. These are pets that have been in our care for over 90 days. These hidden gems have been overlooked time and time again for reasons out of their control. Because they've been here a little longer than others, the staff can often tell you more about their charming qualities and quirkiest attributes. These additional details really help tell the story of these pets, and this extra marketing push can give them just the extra attention they need to find their forever home. One of our recent success stories is Pandy, a 6-year-old lab mix that had been with us for almost 6 months. A former West Suburban Humane Society volunteer saw her long-term lovable write-up and thought she would be perfect a dog for her parents. Her parents met Pandy and fell in love, and Pandy is now living her best life. We hope that this is just the first of many happy stories through this new program. So like all things surrounding West Suburban Humane Society, we can't achieve our mission without teamwork and the help of our volunteer community. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or skills that you think could benefit the marketing advisory group, feel free to email the board or speak with Carolyn, our executive director, or me. So next up is Colleen Attwell with a 50th anniversary and development advisory group update.
Hi, I'm Colleen Attwell, and I am the newest member of the board. I joined in April. I live in Wheaton, Illinois with my husband Martin, and we adopted our puppy Piper, who you may remember as Coretta here at the adoption center back in January. So I guess that makes me the newest member of the board here. My background is in nonprofit development, volunteer management, and event planning. I did that for 25 years prior to coming here. In addition to my position on this board, I also volunteer for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, and I sit on the Wheaton Community Relations Commission. And here, with my work at the center here, I'm going to be involved, as Christina said, in the development advisory group and the 50th anniversary planning. So happy to be here and hope to meet many of you soon. So I will go on with the 50th anniversary report. So we've been starting planning on our 50th anniversary celebration for the last couple months. A group of us here on staff and a few volunteers. And the overarching theme is that we're going to celebrate throughout the whole year rather than just one event. And some of the ideas that we've come up with are things like a historical timeline that could be installed on the wall here at the center, a memory book potentially online that everybody can contribute to, proclamations from city, state, and federal governments, special 50th anniversary logo and branding, a virtual store with 50th anniversary items, donor and volunteer recognition throughout the year, and potentially some new special events. And we'll be kicking all of this off in December of this year with an open house and along with the Pawction, the annual Pawction. So more to come on this in the coming months. So stay tuned. And now I'll tell you a little bit about our development advisory group. This is a brand new group that we're putting together. In fact, we haven't even had our first meeting yet. It will be held on June 30th. The group is made up of 6 members that includes staff, board members, and volunteers as well. So the purpose of this committee is to support the fundraising function of the organization in different ways. Some of the specific ways that we're going to be looking at is making sure that the organization has a diverse funding strategy. So we're not solely reliable on one event to bring in our money and so forth. That's the idea. Collaborating with the staff on development policies and essentially helping out on development related issues as they arise. So again, more information to come on this soon once we have our first meeting. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to introduce Ruth Cloonan, who's going to talk about strategic planning.
Hi, this is Ruth. I have been a supporter of West Suburban since 2011 when I first started as a volunteer on the Tuesday morning kennel shift, and I am currently in my 2nd term on the board. My professional background is in telecommunications, where I have served both as an engineer and a manager, and my current area of specialization is in data science and predictive analytics. Last year, we started working on a new strategic planning initiative as the organization transitioned its focus from years of work building towards the new adoption center. And some of the strategic areas that have been identified include financial sustainability, impact enhancement, and organizational development. The initial steps in the strategic planning process have been really greatly modified given the pandemic. Most of our activities have been virtual, so that has been a bit of a challenge, but a lot of initiatives are already underway. Many of the topics have already been reported on by the various advisory groups as they've taken the items and seized them and really gotten the ball rolling on those. Other topics do continue to be explored. Some of the longer term initiatives are around data management, metrics, and reporting, as well as looking at efficiencies in our data processes. We look forward to rolling out these initiatives as the planning process continues. So thank you very much, and I will turn it over back to Carolyn and Jim for a Q&A.
Thank you, Ruth. And hello again. We've had several questions come in through the chat function, and so we're going to answer those. And feel free to submit any additional questions while we're talking. So the first question was, how is West Suburban doing compared to its budget for 2021? Well, I can tell you that so far for this year, we're tracking closely to budget. And we do feel fortunate that we've had generous volunteers and other contributors that have helped for us to stay on track with our budget. And so, so far for the year, we're tracking to budget. Our donations can be a little bit lumpy. They don't come in evenly throughout the year, but we're tracking. We feel good about where we are for the year. and we feel good financially where we are from a balance sheet standpoint as well. So overall, we're feeling good thus far, and hopefully we have a good second half of the year as we look forward to a successful Barkapalooza event and other events that are planned.
Okay. We should note also that we are both vaccinated, which is why we're not wearing our masks. Just thought that's important to tell everyone, since we are still a masked building. We did get a question before the meeting. Do you anticipate having volunteers show our animals to prospective adopters in the foreseeable future, or will staff continue to do this indefinitely? The answer is, for now, the staff is going to continue to do this. A little background, a quick background about this. When we moved to the new adoption center and the pandemic hit and we were shut down and we needed to figure a way to open up to the public and to do adoption safely, we put together the adoption by appointment process. And we didn't want to put volunteers at risk because at that point, COVID was the numbers were high. And so the staff took on that job. So throughout this past year, we've refined our processes. And now that we're going to reopen, we want to get used to being open to the public and doing things a little bit differently. And once we're comfortable with that, we will relook at this process again. This is not to say that we are going to do them indefinitely, that volunteers will never show again. It's just for the foreseeable future.
There's another question that had come in, which is, can West Suburban recommend attorneys for anyone who is interested in participating in a legacy gift or a legacy program? Yes, we can recommend some local attorneys. If you reach out to Carolyn, she can get you a couple of attorney names who can help with that process.
Yeah, we have to move down there. Here we go. Okay, I think that's a me. Okay, the question is, with the shelter opening on July 6th, if someone comes in to adopt an animal, will they be able to have an appointment that same day or need to make an appointment for a future date? The answer is, my guess is it's going to be for a future date. We're going to have to see what that looks like. What has been working nicely is to have the adopter select an animal and for us to do all the vetting prior to us showing the animals. So doing a vet check or doing a landlord check and making sure we have everything set and ready to go before actually showing them the animal. So I'm anticipating that it will be a future date.
Okay, those are all the questions that we have. So we have one more that's coming in. And it's being queued up for us.
Okay, that's a me also. Will we continue to accept donations on set hours for the foreseeable future? Yes, we are looking at changing those hours to coincide with our open hours. It will be easier for our current adoption desk staff to not have to get up to and get those donations when they come in. So yes, more information to come on what exactly those hours will be.
Okay, I think that is the final question. So with that, I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank the staff and other board members for participating, and certainly want to thank everyone who's dialed in to attend. And so with that, everybody have a good evening.